ばれし7人王座をかけた戦いが今始まる。最速の女王は誰だ。ガールズグランプリ2020選手入場。
Konnichiwa, hope everybody is doing well. Welcome back again to Back to the Banks with Piggy Banks, who is me. Today I'm very excited to bring you the first ever Girls Keirin exclusive episode of Back to the Banks with Piggy Banks. I feel that with so much men's racing available, we will inevitably get to a bit of an imbalance in terms of content, and I want to do what I can to alleviate that as much as possible. So as I said in the documentary episode of Back to the Banks with Piggy Banks, I am going to be doing a full documentary style video on the Girls Keirin scene as a whole, because I think it's an incredible story and it says a lot about gender in sport in general. Today's episode is more going to be race coverage focused, but for now I just want to explain some of the key differences between Girls Keirin riders when compared to their male counterparts. A Girls Keirin rider is kind of half athlete, half pop idol. Now, if you're familiar with pop idol culture in Japan and Korea, you will know that it is very much for the service of the fans and to make as much money as possible, and the Girls Keirin is no different really. Compared to the men, there are far less Girls Keirin riders, with about 165 out of 2,200, which is the total number of competitors in the entire system. That is a vast improvement though on the debut number. Girls Keirin debuted in 2011 with just 33 riders. One of the reasons they keep the rosters smaller than the men's is to form kind of more of a fan base around each rider. Get people excited about the idea of who these athletes are as people, and it kind of allows fans to follow one rider through a season a lot easier than it is to, say, be a fan of an A-class rider who is one in about 1,000 people. One thing you'll notice is there's a lot more focus on aesthetics. The bicycles are a lot cooler looking and all the kit is very colorful and has a bit of a feminine vibe, or a traditional feminine vibe. Men's racing is very much rooted in tradition, where not much has changed since the late 40s. Another thing that is different is the races themselves are run in a way that is much more akin to the Olympic style of Keirin racing, rather than the traditional 9-up Japanese style. The most noticeable aspect of this is that the start gun will be fired as the pacer rides past the starting gate, whereas in the men's Keirin, the pacer starts a set distance in front and is released at the same time as the riders in the starting gate. It's just small, subtle differences, they don't count for much really. The women's races are a lot shorter, with the pacer pulling off with about 1.5 laps to go rather than 2. And this actually makes for some very sharp races and well play with not as much time. Tactics have to be adapted for the shorter duration. There's probably going to be more stuff, but I'll just explain that as we get into the races. And that's probably enough babbling from me. Let's get into the first race of the day. This is the 11th race, the final at Shizuoka, which took place, I believe, on the 31st. Cute little red panda mascot as we pan away from these 7 riders. Thank you for joining me in beautiful Shizuoka City. Same prefecture as Hiratsuka, which is where the Shonan Bank was. We just left that the last few weeks. And stretching it out, let's take a look at the lineup today. Number 1, Nao Suzuki from Shizuoka, 110. Number 2, Kaya Hashimoto, Kumamoto, 114. Number 3, Mariyo Higa, Okinawa, 114. Number 4, Yumika Noguchi, Oita, 102. Number 5, Oi Kodama, Fukuoka, 108. Number 6, Manami Hosoda, Saitama, 108. And number 7, Madoka Minami, Kagoshima, 116. One interesting note I had was that number 3 has Jessica Alba written on her frame. Not sure what the story is, but we're off to a ripping start. Number 2, straight out of the gate, hitting it hard, wants that pace as well it seems. Even getting pretty into the sprint. Spirited ride from her. Number 6 has decided to pull out of her position in the chain of command, doesn't like her chances of coming from the back. Number 4 is taking up that space. Number 7 looks like they're going to try and follow number 6, who's trying to bring herself up to the front. Probably more of a burst sprinter than a long distance kind of rider. So we've got that line of 6, 7 and 4 trying to make their own movement on the side of the track, and we're about to pull off with the pace setter. Number 2 is riding on the front. Number 1 just leaving a little gap. This is actually a very good tactic if you want somebody to come around, if you want more than just one wheel in this particular instance. Number 7 looks like they've decided to launch right now. Number 5 tried to block that but wasn't quite quick enough. Number 1 has the sense that somebody is coming around too, so they're going to want to get up to the wheel of number 2 so that they can block for them and also be able to come around with the window. Number 7 just gets a little bit trapped behind number 6. Number 5 has an excellent burst and is looking to come around the top. Number 3 sees the threat and is trying to catch up to her, but number 5 has just opened a massive gap. Number 6 holds on for second. Number 3 takes third, and number 5 just absolutely blew the competition out of the water. Such a strong finish, especially on that second to the last corner, corner 3. Really opened it up. Look, if you see the rate of acceleration compared to everybody else, easily gets on terms with number 6, has the height of the banking of the velodrome and is also traveling at a faster speed. At such a point, it's really all over. There's nothing they can do. Number 6 desperately trying to hold out number 3 for second place and manages to do it. But you see several bike lengths in between number 5 and the rest. It was really never a question for her, and pretty evenly matched with the rest of them. So we got 6, 3, 4 is in 4th, 7th looked to be number 1, and unfortunately number 2 went very early and is paying for that. Alright, now we're straight over to the seaside bank at HAKODATE. This is a bit of a bigger budget facility for sure, and this event is definitely a bigger deal. Racing at night, you can see some very enthusiastic fans in the background. Number 2, with quite possibly the coolest bike I've ever seen in my entire life, that's Takagi. She has a pretty good shot at this, has been riding really well recently. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she goes. Let's take a look at the full lineup now. Number 1, Mina Sato, Kanagawa, 114. Number 2, Makibi Takagi, Tokyo, 106. Number 3, Hiroko Ishii, Tokyo, 104. Number 4, Fuko Umikawa, Tokyo, 112. Number 5, Riko Kobayashi, Tokyo, 102. Number 6, Mao Ogata, Fukuoka, 118. Number 7, Nao Suzuki, Shizuoka, 110. It's really nice to have this side angle. It kind of gives you a window that you don't normally get into the entire world of this. This guy in the background is wearing a shirt that says Keirin in English, and we've started off the race. Number 3 with a massive launch is not letting anybody get that pace as well. This is tactically sound. Number 7 looked like they were wanting to try it, but it looks like they're going to slot in behind number 3. But can they decide? Number 2 has not found a position that she feels suits her yet, and also number 6 has decided to rearrange. This is very, very uncommon. Number 6 seems to be requesting the wheel of number 3. Number 7 stubbornly refusing to give it to her. Number 3 is like, oh no, wait, number 6, that was my girl. I'm gonna let her take the pace setter. And I think this is the format that we will take. That took an entire lap. We come into 2 laps to go. Number 7, Nao Suzuki, is the only rider that we saw in the last race that also made it to this one, which is quite impressive because they're only about a week apart and in different parts of the country. And the pace setter is going to pull off about now, and we start to ring the bell. Number 6 looking around, wanted to be on the front from the start. Number 1 has decided to give it a push early on. You always see this rearrangement kind of coming through from the back because the back is a very hard place to ride from. Oh, Takagi nearly got taken out there. Number 4 went down. Seemed to be a result of hitting the wheel of number 2. Number 1 deciding to push fully at this point. Takagi coming around the side has a good acceleration, but number 3 is managing to block. Number 5 looks to be getting on terms with number 1, but late charge from number 3. I think she managed to just come and nip that in the bud. The marshal's there warning people not to crash into the already crashed rider. Let's take a little look at the replay. So we got elbow to elbow 3 and 2. 3 has a extremely fast late burst, gets super up in there for number 5 and just manages to take it away from 1 and 5. And we see that full echelon across the track. Number 5 taking second and number 1 in third place. And they're a ways from number 2 and number 7. And poor number 4, hard to see what happened to her. I think she just got chopped kind of as she was trying to come up the back as she was starting her sprint. Maybe wasn't looking directly ahead, had the head down. It happens a lot when you do the sprint. And she is going to complete the race as best she can because there is still a financial difference for her whether or not she finishes. And Marshall is doing a nice job just making sure she's okay. If she were to suddenly fall, they could get assistance to her, but she looks to be fine. Probably quite disappointed with her performance and hurting a little bit from the impact of the crash. But this is what we do. Number 4 looking battered and defeated after a couple of minutes of riding the final lap, completes the race, and so we have everybody finishing straight off the bike, taking the feet out of the toe clips, and she's got the stretcher there waiting for her, straight onto the stretcher. What an athlete. And that is just the highs and the lows of sport. And that, my friends, brings us to the most important race of 2020, going back in time a little bit. This would have been on about the 28th, I would say. Number 1, Aoi Kodama, Fukuoka, 108. Number 2, Mina Sato, Kanagawa, 114. Number 3, Makibi Takagi, Tokyo, 106. Number 4, Takako Ishii, Chiba, 106. Number 5, Fuko Umikawa, Tokyo, 112. Number 6, Hiroko Ishii, Tokyo, 104. And number 7, Minori Suzuki, Shizuoka, 112. Now, not to overstate the importance of a simple sporting event, but this is likely the most important day in these people's careers in terms of their profession. Probably have other really important days, but in the workplace, this would be it. This is basically the Olympics for these people because they're not the type to go to the actual Olympics. Number 6, heavy acceleration straight off the start. She wants that pace of wheel, is not letting anybody get in the way. Number 3 looks like she will take second wheel. And I think because of the importance of this event, we're going to see a lot of rearranging throughout the paced session. Number 3, that's Takagi with the coolest bike in the world. As a teenager, I emulated such a concept with a Hello Kitty themed Fuji Track Pro from 2004, given to me by my coach at the time. So we're about to roll across the line for 2 laps to go. We still got 6 on the front. A lot of position changes, with position being so important in girls' Keirin because of the shorter sprint stage. And this is no small potatoes, so they are being very, very specific with where they are putting their bikes. And beautiful disc wheels. We are really getting into the thick of it right about now. I think we'll see the pacer pull off pretty soon. Number 6 looking around to see what's about to happen on the right shoulder, and we hear the bell to signify we are coming into the last lap. Takagi looking around like it's a match sprint, and number 1 with the big kick, and everybody was afraid of that move. Number 2 comes right over the top with a huge charge, has absolutely sent it. Number 3 trying to get up to that wheel, but number 1 coming along the back straight with a huge burst out of the saddle and has a lot of momentum coming into that final corner, chops down on number 2. Number 1 is opening distance. Number 5 trying to gain up to get there. Number 1 comes across the line. That's Kodama. Beautiful, beautiful ride from her. Won the Keirin Grand Prix with pretty convincing distance between her and the next competitor, and she's just so deadly once she gets herself up to speed. As we see here, just absolutely mowing down number 2 and 3. Number 5 has the height and comes off the track. You see she's able to like swing down into the sprint lane. That would have got her a good burst of speed, but definitely not enough to get on terms with number 1, Kodama, who was absolutely dominant in that. I think we see number 5 taking second place, number 3 and third, number 4 and fourth, and so on. Beautiful shot as they come across the line. Look at her face as she realizes she's done it. All of that hard work, that time in the gym, that time out on the track paid off. Not so much for these other athletes, and that is worth pointing out. So we see in the final, the official results, Kodama in first place, number 5 in second, and number 3 in third. Thanks a lot for joining, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Girls Keirin, well, I should say the first ever Girls Keirin special episode. There will definitely be more to come. Stay tuned for next week for a very special episode. We may be featuring somebody you've seen before. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you back here next Friday for Back to the Banks with Piggy Banks. Until such a time, great riding, be safe. Arigatou gozaimasu.